Derek, it's Scottish Cup fourth round weekends. It's still as exciting as it's always been for you.
Absolutely, I think it's cup football gives us a real opportunity to create good moments for the club in the season. I think the benefit of having a strong cup run is clear. I think you can get that feel good factor from everybody, your support. I think you can get the confidence from beating good teams, and Dundee United being one of them. I think the players can get confidence from that, which will stand us in good stead, I think, for the league campaign, but also the financial rewards. We've got to look at that as well, and I want us to be known going forward as a strong cup team. I think when the draw was made, Kilmarnock against Dundee United, I'm pretty sure that everybody would recognise it's a tough game, but I think every day at Dundee United would have said the same. It's coming down here in a cup tie. It's important that they get exactly that, a tough game, and hopefully we can come out the other end, because ultimately, you can talk about performance, you can talk about this and that, and we do want those improved performances as we go along, but ultimately in the cup it's all about getting through and getting into the next round.
How's the squad looking going into this? Last week you were able to tell us that Scott Robinson was going for a scan. How are things looking in that front?
Yeah, well, slow improvement. Thankfully the scan indicated there was nothing sinister going on, which was the first point protocol, and a real relief to us all. So we've now managed to be a bit more aggressive with the work and the physio working into him. So as a consequence of that, he's been back running today, doing a bit, and we'll increase that workload over the next few days. So he will be fine for Inverness, but unfortunately for us in Scotland, he won't make to Saturday's game. Jason Naismith's back training with us, doing some part of the session and integrating him to the first team and doing some passing and possession work. Well, he's still a bit to go with the physios, but again, hopefully by the middle of next week he can be another one that could be available. And Brad Lyons isn't far behind either, so he's improving well. So in terms of the injury situation, we could have another 3 players available to us next week, and obviously that's a real boost for us all.
Derek, you've had 2 games in the road, but now finally your first home game is here. How excited are you for that, and how important is it that we start on the front foot? Yeah,
I think it goes without saying that you want to impose yourself in the game. You want to start on the front foot in front of your own supporters, and I think the supporters need to see a team full of intent to go and win a tie. We don't just want to try and get through and hope for the best. I think it's important that we play with that energy, that determination to go and make it uncomfortable for Dundee United, but also try and show our qualities. I think for us it's important, and for the supporters, to recognise that we're playing against a team from the Premier League, and we're not going to get it all our own way, and there'll be times in the game where out of possession we need to be resilient, we need to be organised, we need to do our jobs right. I think in possession certainly we want to try and have that intent, and it's a cup tie, we've got to go and throw everything at it, and hopefully, as I say, we come out on top, and the supporters hopefully will see a team hell-bent and trying to do exactly that.
You were able to add 2 players to the squad last week. This week you're able to add another one to the group, Tait.
Yeah.
What can you tell us about him, and what was it that made you want to add him to the squad?
Well, I feel as though we need another passer, middle of the park. I feel we need people to connect to play. I felt for too often when I've watched games that the people in possession of the ball too much were centre backs, and try to shorten our passing down at times. I think there's times to play into strikers, and but I also feel as though there was more of a need to try and get people to gravitate towards the ball. Dylan will take responsibility. He'll be everybody's first pass in the team. He'll go and get on the ball and make things happen. And I think ultimately bringing that type of player in will help us pass the ball and move the ball a bit better than we've maybe done in a couple of the games. I was pleased with a lot of the stuff against Queen of the South. Certainly the motivation of the team, likewise the effort of the team and the motivation of the team against Thistle. But for me, we didn't do anywhere near enough in possession of the ball, and as a team we need to be better at, and hopefully bringing Dylan is a step towards that, but everybody needs to be better. We've done another week's training with the players now, and it's probably about 8 days training with them now, and we're trying to implement exactly what we're looking for, but trying to be more progressive with our passing, try to be more secure with our work in possession of the ball, and ultimately then try to create more opportunities.
When we do have this game, then there'll be a week of the transfer window. Will supporters expect to see some movement given the bodies that have come in?
Yeah, I think that's a natural consequence when you bring people in. I think it's as a manager you can only pick 11, and it's a squad game, and you have to have a strong squad. And I think we've got a good squad. I think we've got good numbers. but ultimately sometimes you can have too many. But you know, thankfully with the conversation we've had with the board, it's like get what we need in first and then see where we are. And you know, players are no different. Players want to play every game, and ultimately I think we all agree we're not going to win a league with 11 players, so you need a squad. But ultimately there's players who maybe have to their part in playing isn't quite as much as others. So you know, we'll look at that. But for now we just need to concentrate on the cup tie. The last few days of a transfer window can normally be a bit hectic, and we need to try and be best prepared as we can before the window closes.